Than just sports. Welcome to the Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on the Bottom Line.
Here we go, Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
The sports books, they got played last night. Thanks to the MLB during the home run derby. Ryan Ermanni, if you're going to be in bed with sports, then sports have to deliver on the rules, and they got to make sure the guidelines are followed, because a lot of people are very unhappy at what happened with Albert Pujols and Kyle Schwarber yesterday.
It's the first thing when I walked into the building, Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, that people were talking about today. Kyle Schwarber getting gypped out of a homer.
He was robbed, and Pujols got an extra one. It was, and I got plenty more on the Derby. I'll let Braylon get into it.
So basically, last night is Albert Pujols' kind of like iconic send-off. He's in the home run derby. He's one of the icons playing in the game tonight, as well as our own Miguel Cabrera. Last night, Albert Pujols snuck into the second round of the finals, fair to say. He got an extra home run right before the buzzer. Right before the buzzer is what we thought until you go back and look at it. They gave him an extra pitch. The pitcher pitched the ball after the clock struck zero.
That's wrong.
After the clock strikes zero, pitcher pitches the ball. Albert hits a bomb, hits one out. It gives him 20 home runs. Kyle Schwarber, who, quite frankly, he hit bad yesterday. Let's call it a spade a spade. He did not hit well, but he still didn't deserve to get cheated. Kyle Schwarber actually really did hit 20, but they didn't give him his 20th hit. They were so busy stroking Pujols that they forgot to count one that was hit with about 12 to 18 seconds left. Didn't give it to him. Kyle Schwarber technically had 20. Pujols technically should have had 19. And Kyle Schwarber was the second most bet on home run derby participant last night. A lot of people not happy this morning.
When you are in bed with the book, when you are in bed with sports gambling sites, you have to be impeccable with your rules. Bottom line, end of story, no pun intended. You cannot count home runs that are after the buzzer. In turn, you must count home runs that are within
100.
The buzzer, within the time frame allowed. And when you don't do that, when you look in to see who bet on who, and as you mentioned, Schwarber was the second most bet individual in last night's.
Behind Pete Alonso, obviously.
Absolutely, who failed in his three-peat attempt. Congratulations, Pete Alonso, back-to-back. He lives on in history forever and ever among one of the greats in the home run derby. But nonetheless,
no one touches the kid yet. He's the three-peater.
You understand where I'm going with this. You can't not follow the rules. And the rules clearly were not followed last night.
They were not. And Albert Pujols said, and listen, I'm a nostalgic guy. I'm the guy that when they said Dirk was going into the last NBA All-Star game as well as D-Wade, I said, deservingly so. I get it. I like the iconic thing. I said Miggy was going to get an All-Star game all year. I love the nostalgia. I love the iconic. The guys last night, all the current young baseball studs, they paid homage to Albert Pujols, as you should. 685 home runs all time. He's still hitting dingers. I think he hit one in the game before the All-Star game. So they should be paying homage to him. But the MLB, they dropped the ball because you're in bed with sports books. How many people bet on that guy and are pissed this morning, can't get their credit back? Usually sports books do a good job of giving you a credit back. I wouldn't know anything about that. But the fact that you got to go through this, they got to make some changes.
You know, Maz, you were pretty hot about this too coming in.
I was, only because, to be honest with you, it was way too long. I don't know how the hell it dragged past 10 o'clock when you know you got the debut of the Derek Jeter captain story coming up at 10 o'clock. I was raring to go. I had a haircut last night, so I get home, and I'm like, oh, good, I'll just catch the last 15 minutes of the home run derby. I had the recording on. So I said, I'll catch the last 15 minutes. They're still in like quarterfinals at quarter to 10. I'm like, what the hell? It went to like 10 to 11. It's way too long. Way too freaking long.
I knew when we were talking about the Jeter documentary yesterday that was airing at 10 after the home run derby. I can't remember a time, if ever, a home run derby ever ended, quote unquote, on time. those things drag on and drag on. And in fact, that's why they put a clock on it instead of just the straight up 10 outs. Because you had guys, getting out of the batter's box, taking a breather. It was even longer in the past than it was now with the clock.
Yeah,
but getting back to the Schwarber thing, which was a big deal for a lot of people. I mean, you get, what, $1 million too for... I mean, that's not chump change either. So when you do put money on the line, the winner got $1 million last night for winning the home run derby. This from Bob Nightingale. Seattle rookie Julio Rodriguez earned more than $750,000 by finishing runner-up in the home run derby. His salary this year, $700,000.
Which I wasn't a fan of that strategy too, and the reason why is because he was killing it. Julio Rodriguez hit 30 more home runs than anybody else, or 20, I want to say, maybe 25. He was destroying it round 1, round 2, and then he goes into the finals and he goes up against Juan Soto, who we'll get into him as well. Juan Soto wasn't hitting good at all, but he was able to get that extra. He was able to get that extra 30 seconds because he hit a bomb 440. Meanwhile, Rodriguez, who goes first, that's why he has so many home runs, because you got to hit as many as you can.
Yeah, you don't
when you
know
go first. So now you're tired as hell.
Right, you don't have a number to pick.
It's not fair.
Right.
Like, I want a young guy to win, and especially a guy, he's making $750 this year. The rich get richer. Juan Soto turned down a $440 million deal, as he should, and we'll get into that. But he's making 17-1 this year. You cheat a guy that's making $750,000, and it's going to be another young face in the future of the MLB. I didn't like it.
I told you he's the young A-Rod.
You did say that. You
now
called
listen,
it.
Pete Alonso prefers to hit first. He was chasing Julio yesterday, and he failed. He just didn't have it yesterday. And yesterday went longer than all the home run derbies. I'd almost guarantee it. It was in L.A., man. It starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon out there. You're going to tell me they weren't dragging that sucker on?
Two things about that. One with Pete Alonso, as you wear the Mets jersey today. Why was he in the gym doing, like, deadlifts? I get it. You want to activate the glutes. I get it. It's just kind of like in bodybuilding.
Activate.
It's like, bodybuilders, they do some curls before they get on stage to really activate so it looks good. He's doing deadlifts. And I'll only say something because, man, did you see him at the end? He was done. Yeah. He was exhausted. He didn't have the legs to back the upper body strength. I don't know why he was doing it. And he was in the locker room by himself. He's an interesting character.
He is.
But going back to, the derby itself, you didn't need Acuna to be in the home run derby. You knew Acuna wasn't going to compete with the big guy. Like, when he was up there, he was struggling to get to 12. Meanwhile, Pete Alonso comes on and he hits his first pitches. They're out of the park. And also, Albert Pujols, it was fun. It was great to see. But he didn't have to be in there well. That's how you cut it off. As opposed to, what is it? Was it 8 guys? You got
way too many.
You got to drop that down to 6 guys, and whoever has the most home runs, they get buys. Like, if Judge would have played last night, Judge gets a buy. Kyle Schwarber, who's number 1 in the National, he gets a buy. Because that last night, I enjoyed it. It's fun watching the swing. It's nothing sexier than a great baseball swing. But I was watching the 3 hours with the heavyweights. Shout out to Spencer Easy. They came over, chilled with your boy last night. We was watching for 3 hours. I'm like, they got to do something about that.
3 hours, no, but 2 hours. You got to give people a reason to come down to the ballpark, buy gear, walk around, try to catch home run balls. Braylon, you had mentioned Juan Soto as well, and I knew you were pretty hot about this too. Just all the flack directed towards him for declining that $440 million deal, because it's all in how you frame the argument.
It's exactly how you frame the argument. And you're one of those guys, you talk about all the time, you hate the term narrative, but you hate narratives that aren't fair. You get Juan Soto, first of all, the Nationals leak the information that should never came out. Shouldn't have been discussed what they talked about behind closed doors, but they leaked it so that he looked bad, and all you see everywhere is Juan Soto turns down $440 million. Don't give you any context. You got to go search to find out that it was a 15-year deal. Who's signing 15-year deals nowadays? Is this Magic in 1979? I saw that on Winning Time, by the way. Is this the type of deal we're doing? Guy won the World Series with the team. In now 2019. They get rid of Bryce Harper because they believe in Juan Soto. He is the future, which he is. 2-time Silver Slugger, 2-time All-Star, won the home run derby last night. The going rate for players like that, let's be honest, Ryan, it's $38 million. It's $40 million. Miguel Cabrera currently makes $30 million and will make $31 next year. You mean to tell me you're going to lock this guy into a 15-year deal for $29 million? What they didn't tell you in that deal is how much has the value of the Nationals gone up since they won the World Series? I'll tell you, $200 million. $30 million extra dollars a year that they're making off winning that World Series. They don't turn down deals. I don't see them going with Burger King because it's $20 million cheaper than going with McDonald's. Like, they're not turning down money, and nobody holds the franchise owners accountable because they pointed at the players, and the fans will always sign with the team, never the individual. It's not fair. It's a ton of money. But at the end of the day, if I'm worth $550 million, I'm worth $550 million. That has nothing to do with me.
Hey, speaking of Burger King, they might have wanted the grilled taste if they had they gone
the flame broil.
The flame broil. That still smells pretty good coming out of BK. I don't remember the last time I was there, though.
Yeah, you can smell outside of BK, too. One thing I'll say about that, and I mentioned it yesterday, Braylon.
Yeah.
This was a 15-year deal for $440. Over the next 18 years, Juan Soto could make upwards of $750 million. He's 23 years old. He'll be 24 next year. So you're basically signing a contract. You can sign a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
Now that you could probably sign a 10-year, $400 million deal, 10-year, $440. He could probably get that $440 over 10 years from somebody else.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that deal, you're 34 years old. We see guys playing until 40, 41, 42.
Yeah.
You could get a contract, and I'm sure you'll have the last 3 years of that deal be somewhat like a Miguel Cabrera right now or an Albert Pujols. But you could have a situation where after the 10-year deal,
you get another one.
You get another 8-year deal to take you from 34 to 42, where you make $350 million. I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibilities.
For me, it's just about what an individual.
And in fact, likely, to be honest.
Yeah, it's about what an individual is worth. Like you saw what he was worth in 2019, and he has done nothing but continue to get better, to continue to go upwards, to continue to up his value. Why would you lowball him like that and then put the contract out there? You lowballed him, you put the contract out there. If I was him, I wouldn't want to play there either. And you saw his brother. His brother yesterday was wearing the Mets jersey. I'm just saying.
Richest owner in baseball.
It could have at least just been, hey, you know what? We're thinking $400 million. Like, that's not even just the going rate. That's what the guy is worth. He's a stud, and he's 23. We're not talking about a guy's 28, guy's 29, because I know a lot of times they like throw the age value out there. He's 23.
Are you guys sitting down for the All-Star game tonight?
Yeah, I watched the All-Star game. I do love the All-Star game, and we're going to do Michigan State edition of Fill in the Blank in probably about 10 minutes from now. I would like to ask you guys, stick with the All-Star game if I could.
Yeah.
For one segment. I want to ask you, as Tigers fans, localize it a little bit here. What would it mean to you as a Tigers fan if Miguel Cabrera had a really nice night tonight? Perhaps even the game-winning hit. Something along those lines. Maybe a big home run to put the American League on top, or a bases-clearing double. Would that mean anything to you as a Tigers fan tonight? Love to hear from you on the YouTube chat. Also, get your guys' take on that as well. Ermanni and Edwards on a Tuesday, but first, MyBookie.
That's right, and you can bet the All-Star game tonight. Who you like, the AL or the NL? Get on MyBookie right now, and if you're a first-timer, you're in luck. Use the promo code Woodward. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Free money to do whatever you want with it. Hopefully last night you had Juan Soto at the plus money, and he brought back some cash for you. So get on MyBookie right now. Use the promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Problem Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's Feldman's Carmageddon, the 4-day used car super sale. We're putting an end to high prices. 4 days of the best deals with more than 3,000 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Carmageddon starts July 21st at 8 convenient locations. If you're tired of not being able to get the car you want, then shop Feldman's Carmageddon, the 4-day used car super sale. Hurry in while supplies last.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Ermanni and Edwards, thanks for making us part of your day. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and Flannel as well. If you are watching on Twitter or Facebook, we're going to end those feeds right now and move you over exclusively to our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports on YouTube, coming up on 30,000 subscribers. And we thank each and every one of you as the numbers continue to grow here at the network. Also, if you are watching the show, please like us. Hit that like button.
Like us.
Like us, please. We want you to like us, please. Hit that like button. Helps YouTube get our content out. Want to stick with the All-Star game tonight in Los Angeles. Miguel Cabrera is going to represent the Tigers. Gregory Soto is as well, and him not so much. If he has a nice night, great. It'd probably be fairly meaningless to Tigers fans. But if Miguel Cabrera came up tonight and hit a home run in a big spot, had a really impactful appearance in the All-Star game tonight for the American League, would it and should it mean anything to Tigers fans?
It damn sure should. You're talking about the best of the best. You're talking about the best of the best on display in the summer, in the Midsummer Classic, I believe it's called, in the All-Star game. You know, when you asked that question, the instant thing that popped in my head was Cal Ripken. Mm-hmm. Remember Cal Ripken's last All-Star game? I want to say he hit a home run and won the All-Star game, I believe. Maz, am I somewhere in the ballpark?
I have to think back about
Cal
that.
Ripken's last All-Star game, I want to say he hit a game win. I think he hit a game-winning hit. It was because it was at Camden Yard, I want to say. But it would be important. It would be very important to the Tigers, to Miguel Cabrera. He's had a hell of a career. He's a hell of an all-star. 3,000 home runs this season, 3,000 hits. That'd be a lot of home runs. 3,000 hits this year, 500 home runs last year. He's knocking them down. He's knocking off the stats. If he had a good night, man, it would just be a great send-off. Because, you know, it's what, one more year? He's on his own contract. I think it will be great. I remember Robinson Cano hitting a home run to win to win the All-Star game in 2017, 2018. I think his last year with the Mariners. Now, obviously, you remember him as a Yankee, but it was towards the end of his career. He hasn't had many years like that since, but it was a great moment. It was a great thing. I think if Miguel had a great game, especially on the edge, as you watched last night, Albert Pujols. You watch all the respect that Pujols got last night, deservedly so. Miggy talked about it after, watching him out there. He said he's an icon. He's a legend. He's getting the respect that he deserves. It would be great if him as an icon, because they got voted in as the icon players, it would be great. He had his icon moment last night in Albert Pujols. If Miggy had his icon moment tonight, I think it would be great for the Tigers and the city of Detroit, backing on the momentum that we have with other things.
He's probably going to get just one at bat because he's not going to start.
Right.
So in that one at bat, what does he do the best? He singles, right? I hope he just gets on base. It would be awesome if they grooved the pitch to him and he knocked one out of Dodger Stadium. I think it's a hard feat for him at this time. Albert Pujols, the same thing for him. I wouldn't mind seeing both those guys go out winners tonight.
Absolutely, you want to see them have nice nights, for sure. I was thinking about this question as we were talking because. I have, and I hate to say this. I hate to admit it. I literally, it pains me to say this because he's probably the greatest Tiger of all time in terms of accomplishments, more so than Al Kaline. I have very little attachment emotionally to Miguel Cabrera. I just do. I don't know if it's
because you're jaded.
Maybe I'm jaded
as a reporter
because he's not very friendly with the media at all. Never wants to talk. And I don't know, not that I took that personally. I haven't covered the team on a daily basis for many, many years. So it's not like you can't get past some of that stuff. I mean, that happens. I mean, you can't take that personally at all. At all.
But have you?
I don't think one time I did because it was just so silly, but I don't think I've held a grudge or anything like that against Miguel Cabrera. I just there was nothing there was nothing about Miguel Cabrera that really gives me any emotional attachment to him. He's a great player. I just don't feel the same way about him that I feel about Verlander.
How about Maglio versus him?
Maglio too, but Maglio I'll lump in there. Maglio wasn't super friendly. You know, there was a time where him and Pudge were not the friendliest. Lou Whitaker to me, and Alan Trammell. Those guys to me are like Tigers lore. And I know what they do on the field isn't. I don't have the same emotional attachment to Miguel Cabrera that I do to Isaiah Thomas or that I do to Steve Yzerman. And let me tell you, Steve Yzerman was not the most friendly person to the media.
Not at all.
Period.
He's still not.
And you know what I'm hearing? You know what I'm hearing in the names that you're mentioning? I'm hearing World Series champion. I'm hearing Stanley Cup champion. And I'm hearing NBA champion. And then I'm hearing Miguel Cabrera. And I'm saying donuts. Yeah. Because you don't refer to the Marlins because that wasn't us.
Right.
That wasn't the Marlins wasn't our Miguel. Our Miguel is 0 for 2.
You know what? I feel like, and this is a terrible example, and I know everybody's going to twist this around and make it a crappy example because I am kind of talking off the cuff right now and just off the fly. But I feel much more emotionally attached to Torrey Hunter when he was a Tiger than Miguel Cabrera. He was just like...
No. Yeah, thank you, Sam.
He was just... I mean, I just felt like that. Torrey Hunter was a great Tiger.
You know what he did?
You know?
He just mistimed a
I
ball.
know. I mean,
that cost us the World Series.
I get it. I mean,
maybe his Minnesota time.
And maybe, and I know
he's a friendly guy.
We'll just, I'll just, call it.
I give you one.
Yeah.
Curtis Granderson.
Curtis Granderson was fantastic.
And that's what I'm saying. I'll give you that.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson
I can make that
was
make
fantastic. Sense. I'm not talking about great players. I'm talking about an emotional attachment that I have as a fan to a player.
Yeah.
When Curtis Granderson got traded,
I was pissed.
I was like affected.
Yeah.
You know, and this isn't, you know.
How about when Austin Jackson got pulled off the field?
Well,
did that do anything for you?
Well, Austin Jackson, didn't he get traded? He
got traded mid-game for David Price. He was in that deal.
No, that didn't really affect me that much. I'm just saying, I see the clown emojis and all that stuff.
The Tigers haven't been relevant in so long.
And I don't think he's done anything. You know, the 500 chasing and the 3,000, that was great. But I don't think he's done anything to sort of rally the troops. In my opinion, I think that's one of the reasons why I feel like no emotional attachment to Miguel Cabrera. When, there was a story when they were in Boston or in the playoffs, and one of the players that I forgot, I don't know if it was Rajay Davis or somebody tried to have a team meeting, and he was like, "No, man." I don't know. I feel like he hasn't done anything to rally the troops in the organization. It's been so bad for so long. And he's a great player. He'll go down in history as, again, the greatest Tigers player of all time, in my opinion. And Al Kaline is the only other person up for debate. Perhaps Ty Cobb, I guess. Sure, I didn't see Ty Cobb play.
Yeah,
but I just don't. I don't feel.
Right.
And this isn't anything. I don't feel it for Miguel Cabrera, and it actually hurts me to say. Because he's an all-time great in the history of baseball.
It's understandable why you say that you have no connection because, to be honest, I see what you're saying. You don't feel like – you can't point to a player that you feel like he changed or he brought along or like he was the guy and he was – you can see it. You can see him help turning the Tigers around. You see a guy that has a lot of individual stats and nothing more. That's what you get. You see Verlander. Verlander's crying and he's this and he's connected. He's locked into the city. He's locked into the dugout. He's locked into the GM. So I can understand it. Me, on the other hand, it doesn't matter to me. Like, when you're great for a franchise, you're great. Like, he deserves everything that's coming his way. He deserves the respect he gets. I can understand how
I agree with everything that you're saying.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I just don't feel...
He's no Derek Jeter.
Well, Derek Jeter won 4 World Series championships.
I'm just saying, when he left, you felt it. I'm just talking about that kind of player.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going back to.
That's all I'm saying.
If he won one of those championships, do you think you would have felt different or you still would feel the same?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of championship players.
Not for the Tigers. Recently.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Recently, it's not.
Yeah, no,
84.
I mean, it is what it is. I'm just being honest. I mean, you could hate my take, but it's just how I feel.
Nah, I have no problem with it.
All right, guys, I want to do this. A little Michigan State fill-in-the-blank edition. We'll do it next. Intern Owen is also in the studio right now, too, just making sure we are minding our P's and Q's, and he will holler at us if we are not. So we'll do that next. But first, a message from SMA.
After your take on Miggy, a couple people are going to need SMA. The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness about fentanyl and other addictions and mental health. Sean Jordan of the NFL Alumni Association and SMA does an amazing job of having the conversation, giving you information, giving you knowledge, and letting you listen to other people share their stories about set subjects. Go to thesportsma.com if you or anyone you know has problems, has issues, or you just want to understand having the conversation. thesportsma.com.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Get a free Woodward
Ribbit.
Sports t-shirt. Ribbit. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Big Frog. Just stop it and tell them we sent you, and they will print you one on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today and get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi. That is bigfrog.com/Novi.
Boy, it ruffled some feathers with the Miggy take.
Hey man, we don't have too many greats, and you went after one of the current ones. That's tough. Hey, you saw me. I kind of moonwalked out the situation.
Yeah, right. Braylon's out.
I understand your point. I do. I understand what your point was. What you meant.
Thank you.
You just didn't love him. That's
Yeah.
it. You liked him. He was a Tiger. You root for him.
Yeah.
You just didn't. You didn't.
All
love
of
him.
that.
Yeah.
All of that.
There's plenty of guys on teams that played on my teams that I haven't loved.
Yeah.
I've liked. And they got traded. They got
I think
traded.
also too is like that's where you get the fan versus a guy that's a fan / was in the media as well and saw other conversations or heard other stories of how media individuals were treated by Miguel Cabrera. Fans don't get that side.
I think you're just privy to more information.
Exactly. You guys are privy to way more instances, informations, and things. You don't know what you don't know, and fans don't know that side.
Yeah. Some of the YouTube chats are great. Ryan misses Bobby Higginson. Actually, Bobby Higginson was a total jerk too. No, I do not miss Bobby
Brandon
Higginson.
Inge. There you go. Michigan.
Brandon Inge.
Michigan guy.
Let me tell you about Brandon Inge. Brandon Inge would go 0 for 4, strike out 4 times. He'd be out there in his locker answering questions.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. Either way,
He was like the grind line guys. Yeah. He took the bullets.
All right, give me some music here, Flannel Sam. This is the time that I know Michigan State fans have been waiting for. We are going to do fill in the blank Michigan State edition. So with this, we'll ask 5 questions, and we will react to said questions, and we will fill in the blank. So first question, and great job by the great Fletch for the graphics
hell of a graphic
as well. Unbelievable.
It's a hell of a graphic.
Question number 1. Braylon, Peyton Thorne will throw for over 300 yards blank times this season.
I think I'm going to go with 5. Last year he was at 3. I started to go 4. I said 5. The reason why I went with 5, Transfer tight end David Barker is going to be electric for them. They did bring back Jaden Reed, but Trey Mosley will be their best wide receiver coming back. They have a nice receiver core. They have a nice at that tight end Barker. And then even the running back, man, you look at what they did last year. I thought they would have used play action a lot more when you have a guy like K9 who's arguably the best running back that they've had for a season in Michigan State history. I thought they would have done a lot more play action, and they didn't. I think this year you'll see them use the pass to set up the run. But don't sleep on the transfer running back Berger out of Wisconsin. He's a damn good back as well. Look for him to have around 1,150 to 1,200 yards. I think 5 games for me, and also looking at their schedule, 5 games is what I'm going with.
Naz?
I'm right in lockstep with Bray. I just took a look at the schedule again just to test myself, and yep, I like 5, maybe, possibly 6. I like Peyton Thorne.
I do like Peyton Thorne as well. I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
I had Michigan State, and I maybe I missed one, but I thought he threw over 300 yards twice last season. So I double that 3 times. I don't see the game. I'm looking right at it. What am I missing? Oh yeah, I don't count that.
So
Sorry. 3 including the bowl game, I guess. If
only reason why I count Pitt is their whole defense played in that game.
Yeah.
So he played against the defense that they had all year. So I count that game.
Yeah, sorry about that. So okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 4 in the regular season.
Okay.
How about that? 4 in the regular season. I think that's fair. He did it twice in the regular season last year. I think they double that because I do believe Michigan State turns into a little bit more of a passing team this time
Minus
around.
K9.
Without the benefit of seeing who this running back is that is the transfer.
Jaden Berger. Also, their offensive line is much improved this year. So I think last year they struggled with the offensive line, kind of similar to how they struggled with the secondary. This year the offensive line is improved. I think they'll protect better, and I think he'll step into a role. So I stick with 5.
Owen, get intern Owen on a mic. Intern Owen,
intern Owen.
Michigan State guy. Do you believe that's fair? 4 or 5 games over 300?
I would say 5. The only name you haven't mentioned is Broussard. I think Jared Broussard, the transfer from Colorado, he was Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year in 2020. And then Jalen Berger is the other guy you were talking about. Those 2 guys, I think, will combine to take K9's reps, and then they'll become I think they can be a dynamic duo. Those 2 guys are going to go with the hot hand. It's going to be more of a different situation with those 2, but they definitely have a lot of potential.
Okay, Peyton Thorne, he's got 5. All right, let's go to the next question. Question number 2, Braylon. MSU scored over. Nope, that's my. MSU will score over 35 points in blank games this season.
6.
Okay.
I got 6 games. Looking at the schedule once again, you got some tight ones. You got some games which are easy games for them. Mixing with that dual running back threat that we just talked about out of Owen, obviously the wide receivers that they still have. I think 6 games is fair to say. There's some easy games there. Then also there's some games that they're going to have to put up some points. They're going to have to put up points against certain teams, and I think they will get 6. Penn State being a big win for them, I think.
All right, Maz?
I got him in 5. I got 5 big wins. That's a lot of points, 35. I got 5 right there, right in the sweet spot. I'm going to go with 5.
I'm going to go 6. MSU scored over 35 points 6 times last year. I'm going to stick with that. I think that's a fair number. And again, over 35 is a lot of points. You know, Michigan State won games last year scoring 30, scoring 37. They won a game scoring 20. They won a game scoring 31. They won a game scoring 23. So they can win without scoring as many points because their defense was pretty good.
I just look at the schedule, you know what I'm saying? Western Michigan doesn't have Caleb Ellaby, the quarterback that they had last year, so I say Western would be one. Akron would be one. I think Minnesota will be a really good game. I think they're going to have to score some points, but they will be Minnesota. That's 3. Ohio State, no. Wisconsin, no. Michigan, no. Illinois, yes. Rutgers, question mark. Indiana, yes. And Penn State, yeah. Washington, I don't know enough about right now to make that decision, but it's a tweener, though. I say 6, though.
Yeah, 6-7 games. Yeah. Okay, question number 3. Kenneth Walker rushed for over 1,600 yards last year. MSU's offense makes up for that by?
I think it's a combination. I think Owen hit the nail on the head. You have Broussard in the backfield as well as Berger, 2 transfers. One was Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year, who Mel Tucker coached at the time, and then Berger comes over for Wisconsin. So I think they take on the dual role of getting his yards. not to mention Peyton Thorne behind that good offensive line. I think you use the pass to set up the run this year. So they make up for it by using the pass to set up the run, but they have a dual back threat now.
Man, I'll tell you. Maz, what do you say about it?
I got it simple. I got Peyton Thorne to Jaden Reed, and they're going to have to do that a lot. I don't know if they can make up for that. I mean, that's a lot of yards to make up for. K9 made that team last year. He was the guy last year. You had to worry about him. Michigan didn't worry about him enough.
Look, he was a one-man wrecking crew, and I think that's one of the points for all my hesitation in putting Michigan State up to challenge for the Big Ten championship this year. They do have a really, really, really good quarterback, and probably one of the best wide receivers in the entire league.
Big Ten for sure.
Big Ten.
Jaden Reed, yeah.
But that running back was everything for them last year.
You don't just lose running backs like that. And I understand, yes, Broussard, and yes, Berger, and yes, this, that, third. Guys like that, like Ohio State didn't just replace Eddie George. Michigan didn't just replace Mike Hart. Guys like that, it takes time. It messes up the offense. It messes up the nucleus. It takes time. You got to give the credit that he deserves. K9 wasn't just a good running back. He's one of the best running back one seasons that the Big Ten's ever seen.
Period.
Yeah.
Maz, it's funny because on my little Michigan State notes that I wrote today, in this fill in the blank, how does Michigan State survive Kenneth Walker? By throwing to Jaden Reed.
Yeah.
Last year, 59 catches, 1,026 yards, and 10 touchdowns. He needs about 85 catches this year for about 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, in my opinion. Bring in intern Owen once again.
So, I just wanted to, you were talking about replacing the guys and whatnot, but that was before the transfer portal. I feel like with the transfer portal now, it is much easier to replace those guys. Obviously, you can't just replace Kenneth Walker. That's why you have those two guys. I looked up their stats. They both combined in 2020, which was their best years because Berger got kicked off the team in 2021.
Uh-oh.
And Broussard had an awful team that he was playing around.
Yeah.
But basically, 225 carries between the two. That equaled 1,200 yards, which was 38 less carries for K9 in 2021, which was 263 for obviously 1,600 yards. So they're trying to recreate that. I know Mel Tucker has said in the past how much he loves running. He told Jaden Reed at his coach's show, he said, Jaden, if we didn't have to throw it to you, I wouldn't. But obviously he's joking. But I feel like they're still going to use the run a lot, and I think Broussard and Berger will be able to step up. You also have Keon Coleman, the sophomore. He played basketball as well for MSU. I think he's a special talent. He's going to get a lot of attention to wide receiver.
I understand that in terms of the transfer portal and being able to now add players from different schools, big-time schools, and kind of plug-and-play type situations. But it goes back to this. It's not about replacing the yards. It's not about adding Broussard and then adding Berger, and you replace the yards. Now the yard just adds up to 1,600 like K9. What it's about is the plays. You can't count for the plays because when Michigan State was losing to Michigan, they needed a play. Who ran up the field for 72 yards? Yeah. Then they get down again. Who runs up the field for 80 yards? It's about those plays. Who's going to go and make that play at that running back position? It's not just about replacing yards. It's about replacing the home run ability from anywhere at any time and being able to shoulder that load. That's what I mean by replacing.
Guys, we're going to get to questions 4 and 5. We'll do it next. Michigan State fill in the blank edition. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
Yes, sir. In Hamtramck, and don't forget to ask for Chris Hutt. He invented this great game. Football and bowling put together. 2 ways to play it. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation for yourself and 10 or 12 of your closest friends. And it's only $120. You get it for 2 hours, so it's less than $10 per person. So if that's what you want to do, that would be awesome. You can bring your own food in, even have it delivered. The place is huge. Sit around. Got plenty of TVs. And, of course, lots of full bars. And they are ready for you. Any drink you want, over 100 beers they offer, and the $2 mystery beer machine. Get on it right now. Get your Fold on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron. Here we go. Got to grab the cranberry. Oh, wait. It's 2 for $4. Got to double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers. And if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ciabattas, summer salads, and dip shakes. All at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar. All on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Planet Fitness is inviting all high school teens, Planet Fitness, between the ages of 14 and 19 to work out for free all summer long, and it goes all the way until August 31st, and that is called the High School Summer Pass. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere with membership starting at only $10 a month. Or you can get a black card for $24.99 per month. That's right, Braylon. Join today.
Only
in club,
$10?
Only $10. Join today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential. All right, guys. Continuing on here, Michigan State fill-in-the-blank edition. That's what we're doing now. Through 3 questions. We've got a 4th question. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. MSU's defense will allow over 30 points in blank games this season. Braylon?
I struggled with this one because at first I really wanted to be funny and say 7. Thinking about that secondary last year, but obviously I took it serious. I got 4. I think their secondary, led by Xavier Henderson, will be a lot better this year. I think the defense will be much improved too. I just looking at the schedule, man. Like I think they're going to be a tough, hard-nosed team. That's what Mel Tucker is known for. That's what he was at Ohio State. That's what he was at Georgia, and that's what he's trying to build up there in East Lansing, Michigan State. So I think they'll be much improved on defense. I got them 4 times this year. I think Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and there was another one I had on here. Wisconsin or Washington?
Maz?
I had him at 3 or 4, so I'm right with Braylon. I'm gonna go with 3. Okay. Michigan State, Ohio
4.
State. Yeah. That's my 3.
Okay.
Don't sleep on Washington. Their quarterback is Penix from Indiana.
Oh wow!
He transferred to Washington.
Michael Penix.
Really? Yeah. The infamous what was it? The 6-2 year that got everybody excited in COVID, and obviously a bunch of injuries now derailed Tom Allen's team. But he's now out there in Washington under DeBoer, so could be interesting.
So last year, MSU's defense allowed over 34 times last year. I'm going to go with 4 times again. Look, they bring back a lot of guys. They lose, Panishik, the defensive end, who was their sack leader last year, had 7 sacks to lead them last year. They got a lot of guys that can get to the quarterback as well. But I just think I don't think they're going to be any better. I don't think they're going to be any worse than they were last year. Probably the secondary, in fact, a little bit better, I would hope. So I'm going to stick with 4. They did 4 last year. They go 4 this year. Now this is the question that can spawn some discussion.
What's the odds on all of us having the same?
Everybody,
100%.
We all got the same. And first of all,
hold on. Here's the question.
I don't think we got the same.
Let me pose the question.
You two will have the same.
Here we go.
I know what you have.
MSU's combined record against Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State will be Braylon.
1-2.
Oh,
wow. Shocking.
Who you got to beat?
Penn State. They have Penn State's number. I think you saw last year, and this is when Penn State had a damn good team. Obviously, it was a snow game up there in East Lansing, same day that Michigan played Ohio State. but I just like Peyton Thorne against this team. I think James Franklin is on a decline there, and I know they just paid him. I think that program's on a bit of a decline. I know Sean Clifford was hurt last year, but I don't trust him. I don't trust that team against Michigan State. It's something about that rivalry. I got them beating Penn State, and then I got them losing to Michigan and Ohio State.
Maz?
I had the exact same thing, Braylon. I thought he was going on the Ofer train. I got him beating Penn State for the last game of the year. Little revenge game. Probably in the snow, this time in Happy Valley. I think they upset them. But they'll lose to Ohio State and Michigan this time.
If you can see my little note here.
You don't even need your note.
0-3.
Yeah, of course.
Look, and I don't think it's unreasonable at all to say I got to see it. I literally consider Michigan State, rightfully or wrongfully, I'm not a fan of the team. I'm coming to you as not a fan of the team. I don't think it's unreasonable to say I got to see them do it. I got to see what they look like.
Yeah.
I thought they were a one-man wrecking crew last year. Most of their success, 80% of their success, was because, in my opinion, I shouldn't put a percentage on it, but Kenneth Walker makes everybody better when he's on the team. He makes Peyton Thorne a much better quarterback when he's rushing the ball for 200 yards a game. I got to see it first before I buy in. I don't know what kind of quarterback Peyton Thorne is. I think he's a good one. But again, he's a whole hell of a lot better with that guy, a transformational program-changing running back in your backfield.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because I've talked to Michigan State former players. I've talked to people that are Michigan State fans, people that actually break down Michigan State. They are uneasy in what the state of their not the program, but just this team. Some very, very, very notable individuals, they say they think Michigan State's going to take a step back. And the reason why that's also not a problem to say that, Ryan, is because even with K9 last year, you looked at Peyton Thorne at times last year, 125 yards passing, 140 yards passing, 185 yards passing. There were a lot of games in which he struggled. And you're talking about with a guy that should have made it a lot easier. So it's nothing wrong with saying that you got to see it first. I think that's fair to say. I think they're going to beat Penn State because I don't believe in Penn State. I think Michigan is going to be better on the defensive side as people think. In Ohio State, you got to prove you can beat it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying what you said. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying 1 and 2 against those three schools.
Well, let me throw a wild card question in here for MSU.
Okay.
Are you ready? You guys get the vote first. MSU will win 8 out of 12 games.
Wrong.
Yes or no?
No.
Over or under?
I got under. I got 7-5. I think it go from 11-2 to 7-5. It's just my opinion. I do reserve the right to change that. I think they lose those 3 games: Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. I think Wisconsin can drop them, and then I think on the road against Washington. Washington is not the team they were last year. I think that could be a very difficult game for Michigan State on the road, probably at night. No, it is at night. Look at that. A night game at Washington. I think it could be very challenging. So I'm going to go 7-5.
I got 8-4. I got 8-4. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I think they lose at Washington, not Michigan State. The Big Ten doesn't have a good track record going out to the West Coast during the season. We know that to be true. Last time Michigan State went out there, I want to say lost to Oregon. Obviously, that was a damn good team, 2015. But I got them losing to Washington on the road. I got them losing to Ohio State at home. I have them losing to Michigan. I have them losing to Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland.
I'm telling you, man, Tulia Tagovailoa. I'm so high on the kid, and I think Maryland is going to beat him. But I got them winning 8 games, though.
Maz, you want to react to that? We'll get some of the guys in the YouTube chat. Owen, I'll have you react to that as well. What is your record for Michigan State this year? We'll have it for you next. But first, a message from Les Stanford. On July 27th, this coming year, which is next week, we're going to be live out at Les Stanford on Michigan Avenue in the great city of Dearborn. On display, that new 2023 Corvette Z06 for everybody to come see and take pictures with. We invite you out there. We'll be broadcasting live all day. We invite you to come with us. Take a picture with the car. Come hang with us. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Find new roads. Find them.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions. featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, it's Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Hey, you say no sports to bet on? Hey, we don't care. We're already into fantasy football. You guys got to come check it out. We're talking best balls. We're talking all kinds of stuff over there at 4:30 at the Woodward Bets YouTube page. You guys also got to make sure you check out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, we know we normally give you guys winners, but you guys got to make sure you come check us out at 4:30, and we're going to start talking some fantasy football. Woodward Bets, oddstrader.com. Check it out.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. Have a big project coming up? Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That is 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Oh, hi, guys. Sorry about that.
Hi there.
Got a power situation at the house I'm trying to work out. A little heads up. Be nice. Thanks, guys. Sorry. Maz, tell us about this real quick. I just got to do I'm sorry.
Yeah, the over-under.
I got no power at the house.
I got him at 8 wins as well. And Owen, I'll put you on the mic there with me. 8 wins. I like them to do that. Last year, a big year. This year, I think they take a little step back, only because of the talent that's on the team. What do you got him at? Over-under on, what did I give you? 8?
Yeah,
what do you like?
8. I would say, I'd probably say 9-3, if I'm being honest. I think they can beat Washington.
You're not being honest.
Just because they have a brand new head coach, it's a lot of question marks for them. I think 1-2 against Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State as well. I agree with you and Braylon. I think 0-3 is. I feel like they can be at least one of them. It's not going to be Ohio State. If anything, it would be either Michigan or Penn State, but I feel like the best chance is against Penn State. Who knows what the team will look like with all the injuries by the end of the season and everything. So I'm going to go 1-2 and 9-3 for overall. I feel like that's fair. And then 2023, our schedule is a lot easier compared to this year. So I think it will get a lot better for Michigan State then.
All right, Sam, you're up now.
I am going to go with 8-4. I have them going 0-3 to Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan, and I also have them losing at Washington. Because like Braylon said, Michael Penix Jr., he was once a damn good quarterback for Indiana, and then it just didn't work out, and now Washington has him. It's on the road at night. That'll be a loss, 8-4.
Well, it's afternoon there, night for us. Late afternoon there.
Still, what does that do to the body clock, Braylon? When do you go out for a West Coast game?
4:30 start out west.
So first of all, I had to change my shirt because it was a Gold's Gym shirt, and we are a Planet Fitness crew over here. Although there are no Gold's Gyms in Michigan, so I wasn't cheating on my company. Just want you to know that Planet Fitness.
Nice job, right?
You're my guys. But 4:30, it depends on how the coach approaches it. For years, and this I love Lloyd to death. I love Moeller to death. I love Bo to death. Rest in peace to those last two guys. But they never did it right. They take you out there like it's a regular game. When you go out there, let's say we're traveling to Ohio State. We travel down there. We drive down there. Sometimes we fly. You go down there legitimately on Friday after everybody gets out of class. You take off at 2:30. We get down there. You play the game Saturday. You come back after the game Saturday. They do the same exact thing when we go to the West Coast. We play Oregon. We left Friday. After everybody got out of school, you get out there the day before, and then you play the game. Did the same thing against Washington. The day before, you play the game. Your body is all over the place. Your body's trying to figure out what time is it? Why am I playing at this time? Why did I go to sleep last night at this time? Why didn't I sleep? Then you got to think about your joints, your muscles, from being on that airplane for those 4 hours of the trip. I mean, Ann Arbor, Eugene, Oregon, it wasn't a very short flight. So you got to do that, and you got to get ready. So teams do not put their players in the best situation. If Mel Tucker was asking for my advice, which I'm sure he's not, take those kids out there on Thursday. Like I would even leave class early on Thursday. I would just have the kids take out Thursday and Friday. Go out there for Thursday morning. You get used to it Thursday night. Then Friday, you start to really get into the rhythm. So then when you wake up and play that game on Saturday at 4:30, it's Saturday at 4:30 to you. That way you give your kids the best chance. That's how I would do it. I learned that Rex did that. When we went out to play San Diego in the playoffs, we didn't go out there the Saturday before the night game or before the game. Rex Ryan had us go out there Friday morning, got a chance to relax, got a chance to chill. You know, we went down to the coast on Saturday, kind of enjoyed, kind of got used to the body clock, got used to the air, got used to everything. And then we went out there, we beat them in the playoffs. So give your team a better chance.
Okay, here's another question for you guys. Last year was a really good season for Michigan State. And I say really good. I don't say great because they didn't win a championship. I only think you can have a great season if you win a championship. That's my definition.
I could have said great if they didn't lose to Purdue.
Well, they would have won a championship then. You know what I mean?
To your point,
then they would have won a championship.
You're right. Ohio State was undefeated.
Well, Michigan beat them. So, three-way champ. So they would have tied for a Big Ten championship.
Oh, let me shut up. You're right. You're on one right now.
So how should Michigan State feel if you do take a dip this year? And I'll stick with you guys. Owen, being a Michigan State guy, says 9-3. He probably bumps them up higher than they should be. I probably knock them down too much because I'm not. So I say 7-5. How about we meet in the middle and say 8-4? Is that fair enough?
That's what we said.
I know that's what you guys said. So let's say, how would you feel if you're a Michigan State fan? And I feel like unfairly answering this question. In fact, I'm going to pose it. I'm not going to answer it. How should you feel about an 8-4 season? Should you feel good about that or bad about that? Because if you beat Michigan and Ohio State but still end up with 4 losses, you should probably feel terrible about that. Because if you're good enough to beat Ohio State and Michigan, what are you doing losing to Maryland and Purdue? You know?
But they're going to brag about beating Michigan and Ohio State.
I think if you're an honest Michigan State fan, if you're an honest individual, if Michigan State goes out there and plays in every game like they should, and they play hard and they play good and they're in the competition of games. If they win 8 games, hell, if they win 9, let's say 9. If they win 9 games, they lose to Michigan, they lose to Ohio State, and then they lose to Penn State at Happy Valley, or they lose to Washington and Washington. But they're in dog fights, like they're fighting, like you can see what the vision is that Mel Tucker has. Last year was a damn good year for Michigan State. Last year, sometimes years like that happen. They fall at the right time. It's magical. It's the right quarterback. It's the right transfer player. It's the right plays. You get the right bounces. You get plays and penalties overturned. That was one of those type years. I think that's nothing wrong with them going 9-3 this year, 8-4, if they do it a certain way. Now, like you said, if they're losing to, like Illinois, if they're losing to teams like that, they're losing to inferior opponents. I think there's where you get the real rhetoric. If they are losing to inferior opponents, then you got to take it as a backslide. But if you're not losing to inferior opponents, Ohio State's not an inferior opponent. Michigan's not going to be an inferior opponent. I think those are the only 2 teams on their schedule that won't be inferior opponents. So they go 8-4. If you're logical, I think you don't call it as a go back year.
Jesse Adams says I would be pissed if they go 8-4. Owen,
I mean 9-3.
I would say because of what happened last year, that was magical. Like Braylon, everything you've been saying has been awesome. Like I definitely agree with everything you've said. I feel like 8-4, that's okay. I would love 9. I feel a lot better about 9 wins.
Yeah.
And then who you lose to really depends as well. How I feel as a Michigan State fan, but I think because of what I know about 2023. And that schedule and how hard it is this year compared to next year, and the guys that they have coming in with the recruiting class and the possibility of the transfer portal, I think 2023 is the year where my expectations are sky high. This year a little bit lower, but obviously last year I thought they were going to be 6-6. Obviously that did not turn out that way, and it was fantastic. So I think my expectations of 8 to 9 wins is realistic, and anything lower I'd be disappointed.
If you're a Michigan State fan, if you're just someone who likes football and you think that it's okay for Michigan State, if you think it's okay for them, or if you think it's okay to have the take that, well, if they win 8 games, I'm disappointed. If they win 9 games, I'm disappointed. You're a freaking idiot. You're an idiot. What were they before they won 11-3 last year? Don't worry, I'll wait. They were 2-4. They were a team trying to find themselves. They were a first-year coach that didn't get a chance to prepare. They were a team that wasn't the best talent. Last year, you get K9. You get a diamond in the rough, and I keep saying diamond in the rough. K9 had one of the best years in Big Ten history. He arguably had the best year that Michigan State running back has ever seen. Maybe Javon Ringer, who had, or what's his name, had 1,600. Like, maybe that. So to go from 2-6 to 11-3 to 9-3, that's not a backslide. If you're telling me you lose to Ohio State by 10 this year, which, by the way, last year you lost by 50+. You lose to Michigan by 3, who has a damn good offense and a better-than-average defense, and then you lose to a Penn State in Happy Valley, and you're mad about that?
Oh, I'd be pissed.
You got to be. Shut up.
No, I would be.
I'm talking about Michigan State. I'm talking about Michigan State, not you in Michigan. I'm saying if you're a Michigan State fan, and this year they lose to Ohio State by 10, they lost by 50 last year. Yeah. They lose to Michigan in Ann Arbor by 3, and then they lose to Penn State by a last-second field goal. How are you mad at that season?
I don't know. I would be upset by it.
But why would you be upset? They have no K9 anymore, who should have been up for a Heisman last year, and they were 2-6 the year before that.
If you went through all those scenarios, I would probably relive every single game then and say what we did wrong at that time. This call should have gone for that on third down or fourth down. But that's unrealistic. You asked me a question,
and I'm telling you my answer. That's unrealistic to think that way.
I would.
As a fan, you could think whatever way you want.
Well, you said what's the number that a fan, like if you go 8-4 and 9-3, like what does a fan think? That's unrealistic.
I'll bring it to my own team. I'd be pissed. I think it's a really bad season if Michigan went 10-2 this year, losing to Ohio State and Michigan State.
But we're not talking about the Big Ten champs. We're talking about Michigan State.
Okay. Let me put it to you guys out there, YouTube chat. Is this the YouTube chat? Come on in. Would you be pissed as a Michigan State fan if you went 9-3 but lost to Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State?
Mad.
How would you feel?
I feel like mad is one thing, because you can be mad, but you shouldn't be disappointed.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
We'll ask you. I want the YouTube chat in on this. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. And I see our leader in there, Chad Johnson. How about that? Good to see Chad. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. No appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy of Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
OddsTrader.com.
We do that. OddsTrader.com. Where is the read?
Doesn't matter, because they're going to shop for the best deal for you.
OddsTrader.com. Go there for all your sports books, best bets. You want to talk about your favorite players, your favorite teams, go to OddsTrader.com. They got all the sports book, all the bets. Guess what? They just do it the best. OddsTrader.com.
All starts tonight.
So I do want to and welcome in top of hour number 2 of the program, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and Flannel. We did our fill-in-the-blank Michigan State questions today, and just kind of spawning conversation.
We went to overtime.
Yeah, we went to overtime, just spawning conversation from that. And, one of the things that Braylon said is if Michigan State goes 9-3, most reasonable.
You can't say exactly what I said.
Most reasonable Spartan fans expect a little bit of a step back. Hard to go 10-2 in the regular season this year. So whether that's 9-3, 8-4, what have you. But if they go, the question was, if they go 9-3 but lose to Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, how should you feel about your season? I would be upset with that, personally. Braylon says you'd be an idiot to be upset with 9 wins. And I just, again, I would be upset because it's one thing to talk from 10,000 feet above, but when you're in week to week watching these games, every you feel like you should win and be in every game.
Well, that's the problem with the fan, and that's why sometimes it's annoying listening to the fan versus listening to logic and reason. Like, it's a difference in losing 3 games to Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, and you lose every game by 15, 20, 30 points, and you're not in the game where you look like the game last year against Ohio State where you got blew out. That's one thing. Then, hell yeah, I'm mad, because you guys didn't even put up effort. You guys didn't fight. You just laid down and died. But if you legitimately lose on the last second field goal, you lose by 3 another game, you lose by 10 to a team that you haven't beaten in 7 years, and last year beat you by 50 plus, that's a different 9-3.
Maz?
What if you get blown out in all 3 of those games?
I just said that. If you would listen to me, you guys never listen. I said if you get blown out in all 3 games, it's very different than losing by a game-winning field goal at Happy Valley, losing by 3 in Ann Arbor, and then losing by 10 to Ohio State, who's a team that beat you by 50 plus last year. That's very different.
And they called off the dogs in that game.
That's very true as well.
Going to the YouTube chat. Fletch Lives Daily says upset. Mr. Privy says close losses can't result in anything positive.
But if your team, and that's what I'm saying, people say close losses, your team has taken a step back just in terms of their talent this year. Now, the secondary should be a slight bit better than last year. The offensive line should be a little bit better than last year. You no longer have Jalen Naylor. You no longer have K9. You no longer have Panishuk. These are major players for the squad that you had last year that was very, very good. If you don't want to pay attention to that, then you guys aren't realists.
Yeah, I don't know how many fans are realists, though. You know what I mean? When it comes to that. And that, from a player perspective, that could be the disconnect. Yeah. From a fan perspective, I'm not sure how many people are realists out there. Maybe in some time, but in the heat of the moment, I mean, you're reacting. You're just reacting.
That's like you telling me the Lions should win 12 games this year.
No,
like,
I said 10.
No, I'm not talking about you. It's the proverbial you.
Right.
It's the proverbial you. Like, it's like me saying, oh, yeah, they okay, even 10. The Lions should win 10 games this year. And then the Lions winning 7. You'd be like, oh, well, they should have won 10. Like, no, that's not the case. You have to look at where they are now, where they were last year, what increases they made. Like, you got to look at it and be honest with yourself.
How much Sparty is not a front runner, we're underdogs.
Well, if you want to live by that your whole life, then you're always going to be the underdog. You need to start having more confidence in yourself and start having a prediction about what you think you guys can do.
See, but I think just there you kind of stated kind of my case about being 9-3. I don't know. I couldn't care less about Michigan State, to be honest with you. I feel like the expectation should be a little bit greater than that. But I could be wrong. When you pay your coach $90 million, right, you got 1 year, and then next year it's go time. I feel like you got 1 year to fall back a little bit. And
don't forget, Harbs was paid all that money.
But again,
it took him all that time.
I understand.
And they had to cut his pay.
And again, every argument about this will always revert back somehow to Jim Harbaugh that it took him 7 years.
I'm just stating, I'm just talking.
I understand that. And it did take him 7 years.
It's always Michigan State, man. That's what we're talking about.
I'm just saying, would you be okay if it took Mel Tucker 7 years to win a Big Ten championship?
Good question.
If Mel Tucker doesn't win a Big Ten championship in his first 6 years, is he even here for a 7th? Because what Jim Harbaugh had the ability to do, and probably COVID saved him, The COVID year in 2020 probably saved Jim Harbaugh's job. Let's be honest about that.
His last name saved his job.
His last name or what have you. But if they go out there in 2020 and actually play a full season, that's a brutal year probably.
It is.
And he probably gets fired.
No. He has a cult-like following. They would not have fired Jim Harbaugh. His last name, what he represents. And then if you're going to fire him, who you got? The age-old question, who would you have gone to get?
Okay, let's take, if we could, if it's possible, to do a Michigan State discussion without bringing Michigan or Jim Harbaugh into it. Does Mel Tucker get 7 years to win a title?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
I don't think he does either.
Nobody gets 7 years.
Gets it.
Nobody would get 7 years.
Unless you're Scott Frost somehow.
Dabble Sweeney.
Listen, man, the Big Ten's going to change in the next few years.
Yeah.
I think he gets 7. I think he gets 20 if he wants 20. He's their guy. He's the guy that's changing everything promotionally. What's the new name of the show, Masalam's show?
SD
Spartan
for
Dog
Life.
for Life, right?
Yeah, Spartan Dog for Life.
That's Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker is the new Michigan State, man. The only way he leaves, if he wants to go to the NFL, that's the only way he's leaving East Lansing. Period.
And again, I don't know why anybody would want to go to the NFL anymore. Like I said, these
NIL.
This NIL situation where you could just get paid crazy amounts of money.
I think
the Dallas Cowboys coach only makes $4 or $5 million a year.
That's all he deserves.
3.5. I think the guys overshot in their year 1 and year 2, and that's why you're seeing that. And that's why I say I don't think he would get 7 years if he starts sucking. He wouldn't get 7 years even in this new NIL, even in this new leagues that's about to happen. Jim Harbaugh, nobody thought the Michigan team was that good that first year. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh this and quarterback whisperer, and he's gonna bring this, and we got Jordan coming in on board, and yeah, they thought that, but they didn't think they were that good until Jim won 10 games somehow with Jake Rudock at quarterback. Then that put the emphasis next year. It was like, oh shoot, no, we can do this. Same thing with Mel Tucker. They're 2-4 first year. Nobody thinks anything. They want to get rid of it. Then they go 11-3. Now you're seeing people say, no, if we go 9-3, I'd be pissed. Because he overshot his situation last year. 11-3. They shouldn't have been an 11-3 team. They should have been an 11-3 team last year, but they were. So now you can't go backwards, or else people are going too far.
I totally agree with that. Or at least that's what the expectation is. Yeah. Guys, NFL training camps start in the next week or so. Leonard Fournette apparently showed up to Tampa Bay completely out of shape. And apparently he weighs 260 pounds. Now, he disputes that. I don't know how there's any dispute about it, but we can talk about it next.
Are you fat or are you not?
Are you 260 or are you not 260? I got this thing. It's called the scale. It's very easy to figure that out.
They're very cheap, too, at Target.
Yeah, exactly. You can get one on the cheap. But
you don't even need a scale, really. Just take a picture.
30 pounds overweight. Let's just go with the 260 for now, for argument's sake. 30 pounds overweight. How much weight could you lose in a training camp to get in shape? I want to ask Braylon that because he's the only one who knows how out of shape you could come to a training camp and be right, get yourself right for the regular season, because that's all that really matters for a veteran like that. We'll do it next, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. 27 locations, more on the way, 2 right here on Woodward. Chili Peppers Tanning, the cleanest salons in the D, and you get to meet the Chili Peppers girls. Not only that, if you join the Pepper Club, they save you $5 on unlimited tanning and more. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters. For more information, it's chilipepperstanning.com.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, Come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Ciabatta Summer at Big Boy.
Ciabatta!
Summer salads, hand dip shakes, all at Big Boy. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled, delicious ciabatta bread. If you want to keep it light, how about the Michigan apple, the chicken Caesar, or the Greek salad? It's all delicious. Don't forget,
Salads.
after you eat those salads, you got to bulk up. It's time to cool off with some shakes. That's right, hand dip shakes, cookies and cream, chocolate, strawberry, all. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Boy, big.
Dude, is there anything worse? By the way, we have no power at the house. The entire block's out. Is there anything worse than like having no power on a hot day like today?
Not much.
No, there's
much.
really not.
Not only that, you got to worry about what you got in the fridge and the freezer.
I just told her, please don't open up the freezer.
Keep it
or
closed.
the fridge.
Yeah, that's tough. I was at my boy's house. The power went out maybe like a month ago. And it was one of those hot days. It was one of those 95 days. As soon as I heard like the power go out, I was like, yeah, so I'm hitting my house right now.
Dude, it's one of those things, too, where you're like, okay, it's hot. Everybody's running their air conditioning units. Who knows if that has something to do with it or not. But then you think about, what if we do all electric cars? How's the grid going to handle that?
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You got everybody trying to power an electric vehicle.
I like when I pull into the garage down in Detroit, the first 25 spots are for electric cars to plug in.
But who's paying the freight on those charging stations?
It's a good
By
question.
the way, what's your DTE bill going to look like?
Good question, man.
Jeez. I'm full of questions.
I have a hard enough time keeping the pool running.
Excuse me. I
Sorry.
know. No kidding. All right.
You come over and swim in the pool, right?
That'd be nice.
There you go.
How
Drop the
much
kids off in the pool.
is too much to be overweight? To go into an NFL training camp. Apparently, Leonard Fournette weighs 260 pounds. That's 30 pounds overweight. The Tampa Bay coaching staff is not happy. He disputes that now. He says he's not 260. I don't know how there could be anything lost in translation. Did he weigh in at 260 or did he not weigh in at 260?
That's why I want to know who said he was 260 is the first thing. Because if it's
that was according to Rick Stroud, Tampa Bay beat writer,
been there for years.
long time beat writer,
That's
one
like
of the best
Michael
in the
Hara
country.
calling out a
And
line.
I get that. How does he know he's 260?
He knows.
Somebody told him.
Okay. Now, with that being, I wanted to do that before I said my piece. With that being said, he should be ashamed of himself. He should be ashamed of himself from this reason. When he was with the Bucs year one with Tom Brady, he only had 360 yards rushing. Wasn't catching the ball out of the backfield. They go and win the Super Bowl. He starts to learn to catch the ball out of the backfield in the playoffs. Last year, he had 812 yards. It was a resurgence. Tom got him paid. Tom basically added another caveat, added another skill to his game, which is catching the ball out of the backfield, which is catching the ball down the field. Actually, not even just throwing back running back flares. I'm talking about lining up and actually playing wide receiver and catching passes. For you to do this to a team that gave you a second chance after how it went with Jacksonville, for a guy that lobbied for you, shame on you. Now, with that being said, he plays the positions probably that does the least amount of running during training camp. You shouldn't come to training camp anything over 8 pounds out of shape.
Wow.
Because it's about chemistry. See, while your fat ass is running on the bike, or you're doing extra running, you're doing extra over and back so that you can get in shape. You're not in shape when we need you for team period, for Skelly, for one-on-ones, for position, the things that we need you for, so that we can build this chemistry getting into the preseason and getting into the regular season. We can't do it because you can only take one rep. and then you're gassed. You know what I'm saying? You can only do one drill. So we got to protect you. So you're messing up the flow of the offense because you're starting running back. You're the stud running back. You're the guy that we trust. You're the guy that we paid, the guy that we brought back. So when you're that big, 30 pounds over, if you're 8 pounds over, you're doing extra running after practice. You know, you're on the treadmill or you're running around or you're doing laps, you're doing gashes. You know, in between practices, you're doing that stuff. You can kind of knock that off with this summer heat. You can knock off 8 pounds in 3 days. And I'm not talking about knock it off where you're still fighting for it, but I'm talking about knock it off to where it's gone. You can do it in 3 to 4 days. 30 pounds over, man, you're talking about weight, using the whole training camp just to get in shape. But how many reps have you missed? How many drills have you missed? And you're pissing guys off. That's tough.
How many, what was the one teammate that came into a training camp with you that was the most out of shape?
Chris Jenkins, when I was with the Jets, big Chris Jenkins played nose tackle, big guy. But the Browns was the easy one. This is a guy you guys are all too familiar.
Sean Rogers.
You already knew it. You already knew where I was going. Sean Rogers got there in 2008, and then we were just coming off the 10-6 year. We thought we were going to be really good that year. A lot of injuries. Sean came in, man, about 40 pounds overweight. Sean came in, and same thing. He's riding the bike. He's only doing one play per drill, and then you get hurt. See, that's the other thing about being out of shape or being overweight. A lot of those guys, you get hurt because now you're not getting in shape. Now you're not getting the reps. Now you're trying to force get in shape faster and do things faster. And you get hurt. You pull hamstrings, you pull groin, you pull muscle, and those things nag you the whole year.
One of the guys, when I worked in Toledo, it was my second television job. I worked in Toledo, went to the Browns training camp. And one of the stories that we did was on Gerard Warren.
Big money.
Gerard Warren was number 3 overall pick in the draft, I think, as well.
Yeah, it was 3, yeah.
But he had a couple of rough years.
Out of Florida.
Yeah, he had a couple of rough years, and then he came to camp overweight one year. And he stood there. I'll never forget it. It's one of the greatest stories that I remember as a reporter. He comes there. He's around a gaggle of sports media, and he just owned up to it. He said, look, man, he's like, my priorities, I got to get my priorities in order. He's like, some guys, you know, they get into drugs. Some guys, they get into drinking. For me, it's the women's, man. And I'll never forget, it's the women's, man. I can't. It was so great. He was out there chasing tail.
Also,
all winter long.
Not chasing it that much if he was overweight.
Man.
Oh, well, it was coming to him, but they still call it chasing.
It's the women's, man.
Also, too, man, your teammates, they lose that trust in you. Your teammates look at you as not having, once you just said it, not having your priorities straight. If you're a guy that comes in 30 pounds overweight, meanwhile, you got a guy in Tom Brady that came back because he wanted to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You got teammates that took less money because they want to win a Super Bowl. Like, guys are excited. They want to win a Super Bowl. They want to get back to where you guys were 2 years ago. They didn't like the taste of losing to Matt Stafford, and then have Matt Stafford say, oh, yeah, I snatched their soul. So that was the mission now. All these guys are on. Devontae David, those guys, Shaq Barrett, they're on a mission to get back to where they were 2 years ago. And here your chunky, eating butt comes in here, 30 pounds out of shape. I can only imagine what his guys are saying to him. That's all. It's tough.
I'm shocked because he and Tom Brady developed a good relationship.
100%.
I'm surprised Brady let him get that much overweight.
But how do you? It's not about letting someone, man. It's like you're a grown man. Like, you're a grown man. This is your 6th year in the NFL. I want to say 7th. I think this is your 6th or 7th year in the NFL. You just got paid a year ago. You guys won a Super Bowl, so now you're a Super Bowl winner. You know, you're a grown man. You got to hold yourself accountable. Like, you know what to do. You know what to expect. Now, maybe there's something else there. Maybe there's some mental issues there in terms of depression. Maybe there's some depression, something like that. But whatever it is, guys are supposed to hold themselves accountable.
It is interesting from a teammate's perspective. When guys come to camp, and today the rookies report to training camp for the Falcons, the Ravens, the Pats, the Saints, the Jets, and the Giants. How great is that? NFL training camp started. The rookies are in camp. When you look to your right, you look to your left, you know who you can count on and who you can't count on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it that simple? Can I count on this guy? Yep. Can I count on this guy? Yep. Can I count on this guy? Nope.
It's, Phil Handy, who is an assistant basketball coach right now. I want to say he's with the Lakers, or I think he's with the Lakers now. He tells a story about when he first got to L.A. with Kobe. Remember when Kobe wouldn't pass the ball? Those were those Smush Parker years. Brian Cook, the center out of Smush Parker. Brian Cook, the center out of Illinois, and a bunch of those years. Brian Handy came there and said, "Man, Kobe, why are you such an asshole?" He said, "I'm not an asshole." He said, "The reason why I pass those guys the ball, I don't trust them." He said, "I come in here at 5 in the morning. Some guys are showing up 2 minutes before practice starts. And then they leave in 2 minutes after practice is over." He said, "I don't trust those guys. I don't believe in those guys. So therefore, I ain't passing those guys the ball. Why would I? If you don't trust your teammates because of the work that you see they're not putting in, you have every right to feel that way and have a talk with management and ownership."
Look at that. And if you don't like the reports that guys are, filing to their respective news networks, you know what you can do?
Don't be 280.
Just hop on Twitter now, because that's what J.K. Dobbins did. He called out Ian Rapoport. Want to see if Braylon ever called out anybody? We'll do that next. Tell you that story next. But first, a message.
I know what my money is.
From Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy of the Red Wings. Cintron, but now they have combined. That's right. They have combined the flavors you love, the cranberry, the original, and the sugar-free, into a special limited edition 6-pack. Pre-order limited pack edition, and now use CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. Use that and you will get a deal on that. Cintron is amazing. They are trying to energize you. So let them be here for the moment. Cintron.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. That is deckedoutdetroit.com.
It's so funny, throughout the hour, and we've got a great team in the back.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to name everybody. I'm going to try to name everybody right now, but I know I'm going to forget somebody.
I would just leave it at everybody.
Yeah, I know.
In the back.
I don't know who's clipping today, but they clipped the part at the start of the show when I talked about I have very little emotional attachment to Miguel Cabrera, and that's just how I feel.
Right.
And I'm fine that they clipped it. I said it. I own it. I believe it. I said it because I believe it.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how people get so mad at how you feel as a fan. I'm not denying how great of a player he is. I'm not denying how great of a Tiger he is.
They didn't hear any of that.
Well, I mean, I didn't listen to the clip. I just read the headline.
Yeah.
I said I root for him. I like him. But when it comes to the all-time greats in the history of Detroit sports, I do not have the emotional attachment to Miguel Cabrera that I do for, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Yzerman, Justin Verlander, some of these guys like that. Barry Sanders. I just don't.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. It's how I feel.
Understood.
In
the words of Maz, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to have one.
Yeah, right. Opinions are like buttholes. Everybody's got one, right?
Got
they all stink.
As well.
Braylon. J.K. Dobbins, Ravens running back from The Ohio State University, he called out Ian Rapoport. Ian Rapoport had a tweet, or report, video actually, on NFL Network, I believe, that said, here it is right here, from NFL Now, Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins is no sure thing for week 1. He hasn't had any setbacks, but his knee injury was a serious one, and Baltimore has no incentive to rush him back. They protected themselves with veteran Mike Davis regardless. So J.K. Dobbins then says, okay, I'm tired of being quiet. Come to me for your source rap sheet because I might not even go on PUP because that's how good my rehab is going, and I'm damn sure going to be ready for week 1. I love the fact that as a professional athlete, you can go out there and refute any report that you see. I do love that ability to do that. I think that's one of the positives about social media.
Everybody owes that debt of gratitude to a young man by the name of Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant was the first individual that was going after these journalists, going after these bloggers, going after story breakers when they were giving out false information or just giving his opinion and saying, hey, that's not what I said, that's not what I thought, that's not what it was. So now you see guys like Draymond Green doing it too. He talks about the new media versus the old media. Now everything he says, I take with a grain of salt, but a lot of times Draymond is on point. This is one of those things. For the longest, players just didn't care what people said. They didn't care about addressing it because they knew that fans were going to turn around and say, like, why are you talking to him, or why are you tweeting at him, or why does it even bother you, why isn't worried? Shouldn't you be at practice right now? Shouldn't you be in the training room? Those are the type of responses that you get. They didn't pay attention to the fact that, no, I didn't say that. They just paid attention to the fact that you're an athlete. You should be seen, not heard. Insert Kevin Durant. Insert Draymond Green. J.K. Dobbins was well within his right. He was well within his right. You said, just about now, you're talking about Leonard Fournette. You said, hey, show us a picture. Hey, go to social media and tell us if that's not true. Well, that's what J.K. Dobbins did essentially. I remember I had a situation where this is actually why I got on Twitter. It was 2009 in Cleveland, and I think there was, and it's somewhat different but somewhat similar. And somebody said I said something. They had made a Twitter account, and they said Braylon Edwards this, and then as opposed to reach out to me, as opposed to this beat writer reaching out to me, Ryan, who I see almost every other day, as opposed to reaching out to me and saying, hey, Braylon, did you say this? He was so excited for some clickbait, was so excited to sell some papers that he went on ahead and produced it. And guess what he had to do? Because he found out that it wasn't me, wasn't even on Twitter. I didn't even have Twitter yet. He had to do what you guys hate doing most, and that's a retraction. That's what they do. It's all about the story. And most times guys aren't going to go after Adam Schefter. They're not going to go after Ian Rapoport because guys don't think we care that much. Since KD, since Draymond, athletes are starting to say, you know what, I didn't say that. I actually do care. Now let me dock your credibility because this is how you make your money. You make your money off breaking stories about us. So if you want to be discredited, go ahead and try that BS. And that's what's happening. J.K. Dobbins discredited him, and now Ian Rapoport, he's holding him accountable. These big shot reporters, Schefter, Rapoport, Woj even, you got to watch it because you better get your facts right. They each had, I would say Schefter had a pretty bad year last year.
Bad year.
He had a bad year.
Terrible year. And there's a lot of stuff out about him. A lot of colleagues that say stuff about him. You can read lots of stuff about Adam Schefter in the back, how he doesn't like his picture taken because he's a certain height. He's got to be at a perfect angle, all that kind of stuff. And then he tries to break the stories, or he puts his name involved in a story. ESPN does that all the time. They've met their match. There's a lot of people out there that can break stories, man, and you got to get it right. And our man Lenny Fournette, if he wants to get this right, he can just get on a scale and say, hey, who's 260?
Can I say this about 260, though, for a minute? Hold on. Can you zoom out for a minute? Zoom out. I look good.
Do you do?
I look good. Do you know how much I weighed this morning?
How much?
Take a guess.
231.
233.
Oh, wow.
I weighed 233 pounds. And I look damn good.
You do.
I probably could lose 20 pounds and look real good.
Right.
But if I'm 233, 5'9 and a half, 5'10, you're trying to tell. It's very plausible for Leonard Fournette, who's got probably a crap ton of more muscle weight.
You think?
And
he's 6 foot.
And he's 6 foot to be 260. That is not out of the realm of possibilities. That's an extra 25 pounds on little old Ryan Ermanni.
What's he run on?
Well, it happens quick because you got to think of it this way. Most guys, once we break minicamp, Most guys are probably the most muscular that they're going to be before the season starts. Most guys are, floating around 5 to 10 pounds more than they usually are. And a lot of times it's muscle. So I know me, we lift hard right before minicamp, and then after, then you break, and that's kind of when you start.
We break.
And when we break. Shout out to Bernie Mac. But, yeah, so, like, when that's muscle, though. But then, guys leave, and then that's when you do a lot of just conditioning stuff, just running, just chilling. You lay off the weights because you don't need to bulk up for the season. You're already bulked enough in the summer. That's when you start to do the conditioning, running on the beach, running in the sand, the stuff that we see Aiden Hutchinson doing in the gym, a lot of running, a lot of drills, a lot of fast-paced, fast-twitch muscle stuff. He probably went wherever he was in Florida, or New Orleans, and went down there and, got some of that the shrimp po' boys and was enjoying it. And you don't realize how fast that time comes. You're like, boom, we broke June 5th. We broke. Well, we have until July 30th. I got time. I can hang out, and you hang out, and you go out the country, and you go out of town, and you start eating, and you party, and you look up, and now it's a week later. You're like, shoot, man, I don't think I'm in shape yet. And now you're trying to scramble. So he's it's going to be interesting to see how he and Tom relate in the next week. Because, Tom is going to be pissed. Tom is a perfectionist. He's a winner, as he should be. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that relationship.
He'll get in shape.
Yeah.
He'll get in shape.
It's 30 pounds, though. And 30 pounds is tough.
Even if it's 20 pounds. Even if it's 20.
The problem is this, man. He'll get in shape. He has plenty of time. He's an athlete. Weight drops off fast. He'll be able to lose weight. But the problem is he's missing reps as he's getting in shape. So now when he gets into the season, he'll lose the weight by the time the season. Let's just give him that credit. Season starts, he'll be done with the weight. How many reps has he missed? So now how much game shape is he in? Because he hasn't been taking in between the tackles. He hasn't been hitting because he's been on the sideline running up and down the field. He's been running miles, so he's not going to be in game shape, which is going to be a whole nother thing. So now he starts the season kind of behind the 8 ball. Now it's going to take him the first month of the season to get in game shape. That's the problem with being 30 pounds heavy.
That's why Giovanni Bernard can maybe move up the line. And I'm not sure if they drafted a running back or not. I forget. I didn't follow
I think they're hanging
the Buccaneers.
On the running back for USC.
So who knows? We'll see how it rolls.
Ronald Johnson.
They're still the heavy favorites in that division.
Guys, you want to do Phil Steele or Big 12, Pac-12 next?
Big 12.
Big 12 tells Pac-12 it is not interested in a full merger. Is Notre Dame headed to the SEC? All that and more next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 freaking years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, tell us bad guys one thing. Stay out. Their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what is important to you is safe. For more, call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
Let them know Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. At Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Paul Feinbaum, your buddy, Braylon, believes that Notre Dame is potentially going to be headed to the SEC. Now, would that be the biggest FU to the Big Ten ever? The final FU from Notre Dame to the Big Ten if they join the SEC.
punk asses.
It would be, but if I'm looking at it from Notre Dame's standpoint, if they come to the Big Ten, yeah, they're the big fish, but they're not really the big fish. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, it's Michigan State, it's Penn State,
USC.
And now USC, if
they should come to go with USC.
I understand that, but they're used to being. It's just about them. Like if it's just about them,
then they should stay in the ACC.
Hold on, watch this. It's no. ACC is about to not exist anymore.
Well, they should make it exist.
Right. So Notre Dame.
Oh shit.
If they come to the Big Ten, it's like everyone told them to come there. They're coming to be Michigan's brother. They're coming to be Ohio State. They're coming to USC, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They were supposed to come here. If they go down to the SEC, it's like being a first round draft pick. It's like being a cute chick. Everybody's like curtain calling that or like cat whistling that or whatever. They coming down there. They feel like they've gotten brought down there. They got solicited to come down there. If they come here, that's where everybody thought they were going to go. I think if they go to the SEC, if they get more bang for their buck.
Yeah, I understand that to a certain extent, but if Notre Dame is unwilling to do SEC type things, they're just going to become a bottom feeder in that league. They're going to get chewed up and spit out unlike anything you've ever seen before if they are unwilling to play by SEC rules, if they're unwilling to play ball in the SEC, for lack of a better way to say it, because you can come to the Big Ten and try to do it the right way, etc. There's going to be those teams, Ohio State for sure, but our Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, are all these, you know what I'm saying? I feel like more teams will do it the quote-unquote right way in the Big Ten than in the SEC. Texas Tech just came out with a situation today that is paying all of their players in the top 15 walk-ons $25,000 a year. There's some company out there willing to pay each and every one of the over 100-plus college football players $25,000, and in return they got to do a little bit of community service, probably show up to a lemonade stand or something like that.
I just think they
say hello and that's it.
I think they stand out in the SEC. It's nothing like them down there in the SEC. They're a completely different program machine than any other thing that exists in the SEC. Meanwhile, up here in Michigan, like Michigan and Notre Dame, very similar. Michigan State and Notre Dame, very similar. Penn State, there's a lot of similarities to the schools up here. I think if they go down there, there's something different. I mean,
I would never schedule Notre Dame again if I'm a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
You don't need Notre Dame anymore to fill your stadium. You don't need Notre Dame's money anymore. There's plenty of teams out there and plenty of money out there. I wouldn't do it if I'm a Big Ten team because Notre Dame has turned their back on you each and every step of the way. Even in COVID, they chose to go play the ACC schedule. Even in COVID.
I'm with you 100% on that. Lockstep. If Notre Dame says no this time, then you shut the door on them. I always said, Bray, that maybe if they want to be independent like they've always been, why not join the ACC? Save it. Maybe the Pac-10, the Big 12 and the Pac-12. You pick the best teams from there and you merge them in, and you make a pretty damn good conference out of that.
Notre Dame's not saving the ACC. ACC is beyond repair. Clemson's already put their bid in to go to the SEC. They don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And Clemson's the only team that matters in the ACC. And Miami's going to be Florida's not in that. I mean, ACC. That's what I'm talking
Brandon,
about.
you had a good team to join the Big Ten.
Even with Miami, what Cristobal is about to do in Miami is about to be the next gun that goes to the SEC. Nobody's going to want to be in the ACC in a minute. Notre Dame can't save that. Pac-12, ACC, they won't make it.
Tell them the name that you like from the ACC that you like
for the Big
in
Ten?
the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, none other than the UNC. You put UNC in the Big Ten, and it's not necessarily about football, although they've been in the ACC championship. They played against Clemson 3 years ago. Sam Howell, Mitchell Trubisky, Eric Ebron, who's not one that you're trying to garner attention here in Detroit. But just for basketball and the other sports, can you imagine what UNC? Can you imagine what UNC and Hubert Davis could do for the Big Ten? Adding another power player, adding that tradition that they have. Not to mention they are one of those schools like a Stanford, like a UCLA, like a Michigan, that is great at all the sports that they house under that institution. I think UNC would be a damn good pull, and they're on the East Coast. I just like that pull.
And you talk about basketball, then they'd reconnect a little bit with Maryland.
Maryland. They're damn good at baseball as well. There's a lot of stuff that you can add with UNC, not to mention their academics. Those lockstep with ours as well.
I'm a little confused as to why the Big 12 would tell the Pac-12 they're not interested in a full merger because of all the leagues.
Yeah.
I do feel like the Big 12 is the one that is closely resembling some sort of non-existence. This from Dennis Dodd. Sources told CBS that within the last 2 hours, Big 12 told the Pac-12 it is not interested in a full merger. The door remains open for the Big 12 to invite individual Pac-12 teams. Look, if you're the Big 12, you just lost Texas A&M. You're losing Texas and Oklahoma. You have Baylor, and that's it.
They're getting a new TV deal quicker than the Pac-12. That's the reason that they can do what they're doing. They are holding the cards right now, believe it or not.
Not to mention they have better football. Like you took USC from them already. You took UCLA. Who cares? You take Utah, Oregon, the Pac-12. Who's watching the Pac-12 in terms of football? I'm not watching any football in the Pac-12. Yes, you took out Texas. You took out Oklahoma.
Well, you watch Oregon.
But I'm saying Oregon's about to leave. I'm saying all they have now is Utah and Oregon, and those are the next two dominoes to fall in the Pac-12. So if I'm looking at it from the Big 12 standpoint, I don't want to be a part of this Pac-12 that doesn't have USC, doesn't have Oregon, and doesn't have Utah. Who do I want to play? Arizona State? Colorado? Like, you don't want to play anybody over there. Meanwhile, in the Big 12, you still got good football. Iowa State. Now, are they going to beat anybody? No. Damn good football. West Virginia, good football. Baylor, good football.
I think Cincinnati's joining the Big 12, aren't they? Or did they not join?
They're joining one of those. I think it is the Big 12.
So Big 12, like Matt said, they still hold all the cards. Pac-12, they lose Oregon, you might as well forget about it. Nobody cares about the Pac-12.
Is there any chance whatsoever Notre Dame in this climate could remain an independent?
I think so. I don't know, to be honest. I would take that back and say I would phrase it by saying, you know what? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because I don't know.
And I
don't
hate
know
to not
the TV deals and how that works. I don't know.
I hate to not have a take on it. I mean, Notre Dame could probably. What's USC and UCLA making from coming to the Big Ten? $100 million in TV deals. Could Notre Dame get a $100 million deal from NBC Sports?
Probably.
I think they could on their own.
Yeah.
And
or
here's the
somewhat
kicker.
close to it.
They need a bigger playoff because how are they going to get in the playoff playing as an independent?
But who's got room to schedule Notre? My question in the can Notre Dame stay as an independent? Who's got room on their schedule to now schedule Notre Dame? If you're playing in I'll take Michigan for example.
Take USC because they play them every year.
Okay.
Now they're going to the Big Ten.
Well, if you're Michigan and you've got Michigan, Notre Dame on the schedule coming up in a few years, you're going to play Michigan State, Ohio State, USC, UCLA, Penn State, Wisconsin, Iowa, and then you're going to play non-conference against Notre Dame. Hell no, I'm not playing Notre Dame. And invert all the teams to, in these bigger conferences. Why in the world would you schedule Notre Dame when you have a mega conference that you've got to try to get through? I wouldn't do it.
A juggernaut-like schedule. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to play those teams every year, though. So, I mean, that does leave the door open. But I don't know, man. You asked the question. I said, I really don't know. I just ultimately think that them being by themselves, NBC is going to look at it at some point like, I mean, we can't do anything with this independent deal. We can't do anything with this independent thing. We need you guys to be in a conference. And I think they're going to put the pressure on in Notre Dame within the next year or two, more so the next year, to join one of the main two conferences.
What's the first conference that goes to 20? Is the Big Ten going to let the SEC pick the next 4 teams or more? Or do you jump now and take who you can get? That's why they told Oregon and Washington, hold your horses. We're not going to bring you over yet. We're waiting on Notre Dame. That was the word a month ago.
The commissioner of the commissioner of the SEC, because they're doing the SEC Media Day right now, they talked about not wanting to jump past 16 teams. So obviously they're waiting for Notre Dame and Clemson, but they said they don't want to go past the 16, 18 games. So I think maybe it would be the Big Ten.
Do you believe them?
No, it's the SEC.
I don't believe anything they say.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I would double down now.
Double down now? I think, that might be smart.
Guys, time of the day. We like to play Masters videos of the day. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Gypsy Vodka. Guess what? They have gone and done it. They have given themselves a seltzer, and it is the Mulligan. 8% alcohol, and I do repeat, 8% alcohol. Support Michigan distillers. Talking about Adam and Mike here, man. They got a great product. Gypsy is amazing. Corn Distill using artesian spring water. Now they have the Mulligan, that is iced tea, lemonade, and mango flavor infused with that amazing vodka that they have. Drink it responsibly though, because I do say it's 8%, it's not 5 like most seltzers. Enjoy it, golf course or at home. The Mulligan, Gypsy Vodka.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Academy of Warren is currently enrolling for kindergarten through 8th grade, and Academy of Warren features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, a learning street, a futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Speaking of athletics, Academy of Warren has a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net. That's academyofwarren.net.
Academy Warren. I don't know where did that start? Just spouting off one words. Fish?
Was it fish? Yeah, it was fish.
God, it's so funny. It's a great thing. Love fish.
Fish loves his poutine.
I want to thank everybody who liked the show. Over 100 likes. Thank you so much for that. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, final segment of the program, time of the day. We like to play
Maz's videos of the day.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
This you probably missed last night watching the home run derby because they didn't show you any crowd shots.
No crowd.
Of this. This is the real home run derby. Oh my goodness!
Something about the West Coast, man. Like last year, there was a big melee with Phoenix and Denver, and somebody here on that West Coast, man. They get after. Oh man, L.A. The Rams last year. Something about the West Coast, man.
The Rams and Jersey guys that wear their jerseys.
I went to a Tigers-Dodgers game at Dodger Stadium a couple of years ago, a few years ago, and I wore my Chet Lemon jersey.
Oh,
and one of the guys walking out of the stadium, he's like, "Hey, I take that jersey off before you get in the parking lot." I was like, before he said that, I was like, oh.
I love people that listen, though. Like, see, he gave you that advice, and you listen.
He was trying to help me out.
Exactly, and you listen, and it probably saved you from looking like that.
No need for that. Now, you could look like this next guy. This is a very quick video, so you might want to take a quick look at this. I mean, is there a bigger idiot? I don't think so.
What's happening?
Nope, this isn't it.
What's happening here, though?
This isn't it. This was the.
Looks like her husband.
This is the TV show. This is being a TV, doing TV at home.
Oh, Play it. Let's see.
Go ahead, watch TV.
It's like
She's
the
doing the
husband.
Zoom.
She's like, no.
Here comes the guy walking in his
no.
underwear. He's not the idiot I was talking about, but that's doing Zoom at home. I think she was live on CNBC.
yeah.
And the guy walks by.
He was naked?
He got his undies on. You want to watch it again?
Oh, my God.
Pop
Is
it
that
on.
great?
Pop it on one more time.
The interesting thing would be like if that's not her husband though. Like
She's
that
like,
would be the funny
oh,
one.
yeah,
There he goes.
He didn't care. He was like, it's all good.
Yeah, he might not be the husband.
Oh, my God.
Now, Fletch, you got this one that says this guy wins the Idiot Award?
Look at this guy. He's like, I'm in no hurry. Is he dead?
He should be.
Oh.
He took it too.
I mean, he took it. Like, he'd break your ribs, dude.
Is that a charge or a block?
Oh, my
that's
God.
a charge.
Dude, I'm hurt just looking
His
at
feet
it.
his feet were moving.
His feet were moving.
Oh yeah, his feet were moving.
That's a block.
That's a block.
Oh, my
That's a block.
God.
That's an L one.
All right.
That is an L one.
Bull
Oh,
wins
my
again.
God.
Bulls win.
That was
Bulls
an L
win.
one.
Holy Toledo.
Here you go, buddy. This next one is a good one. But this CFL game, I wish Fish was here. This dog sets the Frisbee record. A 109-yard catch. Check this dog out.
Dogs.
As soon as he leaves his hand, you go crazy, Calgary.
No way.
If the guy could have threw it further, he would have caught it one.
Is that an awesome dog or what?
No
109.
way.
Great toss, too.
That's a hell of a throw, man.
Beautiful.
So that's what it looks like. Okay.
That's it, man. See?
Spencer says Maz airing deaths live on the air.
I have to. I have no choice.
Jeez.
Whatever doesn't get me pulled down. This next dog is the cutest thing ever. He's going to an ice cream shop expecting to have a little dog, have a little doggy treat. Look what he gets instead. Isn't that
That's
cute?
so cute.
Isn't that sweet?
He is trying his hardest. He's trying to figure out why it's not happening.
That dog is like, I've seen this before.
I wonder if it's like a scratch and sniff.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Like my daughter's 7 now, Lydia. But when she was younger, and this is probably terrible for us, as parents, but I remember like I was showing her a magazine picture one time, and she tried to pinch it.
Oh.
Like, you know, you could pinch
Yeah.
the screen
Well,
on the
sometimes
phone.
you know what, the books that you read to
Yeah.
them, and you like
Yeah.
pat the bunny.
But I was like,
Pat
what do you?
the bunny,
I was
you
like,
could
what do you?
pat-
You know,
I get it
She was
now,
young
yeah.
enough. I was like, what are you doing? And she like
She's trying to put like the
trying
screen
to
on the phone.
make the picture bigger.
That's
like
smart.
on the phone.
She's like, hey,
That's phenomenal.
Sad.
Does everything do
that's,
that?
that's life.
Sad.
Welcome to
All these
today.
screens.
All right, these next fine people are out on their nice little vacation, chilling out in Hawaii, just minding their own business and having a great time.
Business.
Eating and drinking. Along comes a wave.
Oh, I saw this. Oh no! Can you imagine? I can only imagine a flannels wedding.
Oh man!
You watch this. Total
Look at this.
washout.
And it's
Can you
not
imagine?
done. It's not done after the first one.
Can you imagine?
Here comes the first
Oh,
one. It ain't even
man.
done yet.
Oh man.
Oh.
Where's the cake? Where's your dress?
Oh, God.
What I'm wondering, why the hell did
Refund.
it take him so long to move?
They didn't
Well,
believe
they
didn't believe it would
couldn't
go over
believe
the wall.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but guess what? My eyes work. Like I get it that it doesn't happen like this regularly, but it took you that long. Like once it got to the wall, it's like it's coming.
Couldn't believe it.
Now, a climate change guy put this out on Twitter saying pollution is the reason for these type of waves. So that's just what he wrote. That's what he put down. And I figured I'd put it down for you. So let's not pollute, folks. You
Don't-
got time for another one? Or you
Yeah,
already
sure.
saved for
One
another
more.
day?
One more pollution.
Okay. You guys probably don't do
Chet's
this.
gonna win.
You ever fold a sheet at home? You ever fold your sheets at home
All
and put
the
them
time.
away?
Yeah.
You ever try to fold a fitted sheet?
I hate the fitted sheet.
Okay.
I hate folding the fitted
It's
sheet.
impossible.
It is impossible to fold the
I don't
fitted
know why
sheet.
you folded.
Watch this woman. This is the way
Okay.
you fold a fitted sheet. You can leave the sound up too there, Fletch. Look.
Okay.
This is, yeah, there's no sound.
Oh,
on it
she
anyway.
tucked it in.
Look up. We're going to have to see this a couple of times.
Oh my god.
This is amazing to me.
She tucked it in.
Now watch the final tuck as she makes it all ready to put away. Isn't that freaking amazing?
I want to watch that again.
Yeah, I got no chance of folding a fitted sheet.
Okay,
Here it
so
is.
she's got it laying on the bed, and then okay.
Okay, now you got that.
That. Now she's got that.
Okay,
that,
there.
That.
Not bad.
That.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try it at home.
You think you got a shot?
If I play this video,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. I'm gonna try it.
All right, that'll wrap it up.
Very exciting.
I got one I'm saving for tomorrow.
Braylon, good job, buddy.
I appreciate it, man.
Good job.
Spence, that one's for you.
I'm spent.
Fletch and Flannel, good job out of you guys, Baz. Good job. If you're spent, I'll say goodbye.
Hey, man, I bumped my gums too much. I'm shutting up on this one.
Goodbye. Love you all. Woodward Sports Network.